There he is.
What a beautiful face that we see here.
Thanks. I see some beautiful faces too.
Yeah.
My top right corner. It's me.
I thought you were going to say Tony. That would track too.
I was hoping Andrew. Never been said before. Tough day.
You're going to enjoy today because Tony's on fire. Tony has been roasting Andrew all day. It's been
nothing but niceties over here,
It's
Greg.
been great. It's been great.
I've loved the whole thing.
All right. Well, we'll start this dumpster fire and we'll see what we can make out of it.
Oh, right on.
Okay.
I don't have like the official headphones and stuff like you
Why
guys
do
do.
say
You
it
sound
like
great,
that?
though.
You do sound really good.
Good. I try to project my voice well.
Killing it.
You just have that natural podcast voice that we all want.
I love it. That's why I like being on here with you guys. You guys all have those naturally wonderful voices. And I look forward to listening to this.
You butter us up, Greg. You're still
right.
the best. All right. 3, 2.
You need a drink. Sorry, he needed a drink. He was a little sloshy in there.
What was that? Oh,
Boy, oh boy.
did he get to one yet?
Are we ready now?
No, I didn't let him get to one because he was too there was a
Fleming.
lot
Gotcha.
going on in there, and I could hear every little bubble.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Change Ed,
Changed.
Changed.
the #1 rated everywhere podcast for education and all things pedagogically significant in the world.
Wow.
I am one of your hosts,
Your favorite.
Andrew Kuhn, education consultant from Montgomery County Intermediate Unit. And here with me is
Patrice Semachek, also out of the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit.
And Tony Marabito from the Carbon Lehigh Intermediate Unit.
and we are here with no stranger to this podcast. A man known
The myth, the legend.
as a myth and a legend
Very, very, very special.
in the
guest.
flesh. Double G, Greg Macer. Welcome back,
Hey.
sir.
Hello. Thank you for having me back for my third time. No less.
You
right?
are the only guest we've had 3 times, by the way. We're going to have to get you like the jackets like they have at SNL. Like you're going to be in the 3-timers club. Maybe it'll
Yeah.
be a bow tie.
I was going to say, you've even got one up on Rory McIlroy because he's only won that thing twice, 2 jackets. You got yourself a 3rd jacket.
I said SNL.
That's right.
But we can
That's why I demanded this.
You
today.
demanded
That's why I
it?
said,
Demanded
like,
it, yeah.
What color do you want?
You got a
Because
lot to
green's
say.
obviously out since that's the Masters. And I think that it might be
A
SNL.
teal bow tie, I think, is what has to happen.
So that's the 5th one. When I come on,
Oh,
the fifth one, I'll wear a 5-timers bow tie.
I like that.
Yeah, that's right. We subbed it too. It's only me.
The budget doesn't allow.
Mr. Macer, getting right into this. You disappeared for a little while. We missed
Sure
you
did.
wholeheartedly. Where you been? What did you do? What'd you learn? And also, welcome
Where
back.
are you now?
Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, I was at the IU9. Thought the grass would be greener somewhere else, which I was wrong about in a way. But I spent a year in St. Mary's working with the Community Education Center. The CEC is what we called it. And I worked a lot with manufacturers and
cool.
particularly getting students within the industries to see what was kind of around in the area. And so one of the things that we worked on is we get kids to go in there. Is this videotaped?
No.
No, you're good.
Oh, thank heavens. Oh, good. So I don't have to keep like looking good in the camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll continue to look good.
You do you,
look
Greg.
great. Yep.
You do
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Oh, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Working with manufacturers. So the kids would go in and like have a tour and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come out, they would get like a evaluation about something. And what we wanted to do was kind of step that up to say like, well, what can the kids do afterwards? So it's not just this visit. And a lot of
Yeah.
times it's a visit to a powdered metal factory because that's what St. Mary's has mostly. And so we started designing a makerspace in a warehouse that we got access to.
Cool.
And I learned a lot about outside of education and the politics that kind of reside in trying to get something done, but then facing so many different boards and so many different leaders that are in that. And so it was a very eye-opening experience. And it was a dream to build a makerspace, but like we didn't get it as far as we wanted to. You know, things would fall apart and we would just have to keep trying different things to get this to work. And that's where the struggle became real. And just happened to be reached out by a good friend, Tanya Dinda. She reached out and said IU 29 was looking for somebody at STEM. They just hired a new executive director that was over her, and she said I would be a good fit. Called up, drove 3 hours there one morning, interviewed. I thought I killed it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just go in there and go like, I like the job I have now, but I very much love the IU world. So I'd love to come back. And, you know, had a good interview, got back in my car, started about 45 minutes into my drive back home, got a call, and they offered me the job.
How about that?
Wow.
So then it was really tough to step away from the CEC because of what we were building, but we did find somebody to fill in. So they're continuing to succeed. But now I'm on the other side of the state working for the IUs again, which again, thought the grass was greener. I'm here now. I'm never leaving. IU world it is.
It is pretty great. Like, it's hard to work somewhere once you've been in a system like an IU. Not only is the IU great, but the community that we have outside of the IU with other IU peoples was what I think makes it even better.
Greg, what was your biggest takeaway when dealing with like the business sector as opposed to in education?
That they're really willing and eager to do more. They just don't know what to do, right? And that's where I was really like, I love that I had the steels stuff, all the science things that we did at the IU9. And so then it's approaching manufacturers and going like, well, how can you, with students, just engage them a little bit more? And so like they would talk about robotic arms and like all their labs and things like that they have. And so we started to go like, well, these labs are really cool where you're putting together like all of these different mixtures to make different strengths in powdered metal. And it's all done on this like micro scale. And it's like kids can easily do that. And so it was trying to just help them build. What are you ripping up, dog? Sorry, my dog just got a new dog and it likes to eat all of our mail. Just making sure that wasn't an important piece. It's not.
Okay, good.
It's a bill.
It's your change of paycheck. That.
Not a paycheck. But yeah, coming away with that and helping them kind of build something to share with students. But it was like in that going like, we can do more with teachers, right? And like, how can we get teachers to understand what's happening in the workplace and how the value isn't necessarily the knowledge that kids are getting, but the value's in how they're utilizing, not even that knowledge, just their ability to problem solve. All the things that we talk about in science. How do you show your problem solving? How do you collaborate in problem solving? How are you able to show the process of trying to find an answer more than finding the answer itself? And so in that, we started working with teacher in the workplace. And that's where the IU really became a little bit more appealing to come back to that, because being able to get into teacher training. And so now in Schuylkill County, I'm trying to apply that, but more with a teacher lens focus and trying to find manufacturers and whatnot to come in and provide teachers with a problem that is beyond their ability to solve. Because I think within Steels, like we get these trainings where we do something like, I don't understand pressure 100%, but you always have the physics teacher like, I totally understand this. And I think it's important for teachers to be put in a situation where they're not putting on the hat of the student, but they are literally the student. So they're literally put in a place where they don't understand this answer. And maybe there isn't an answer, but we need to show our thinking. And so that's what I'm currently working with an engineer in Schuylkill County, one of our biggest manufacturers, trying to build. He wants to make a do-nothing machine that is just a mechanical machine that you break and then you try to fix it in some way.
Oh,
I don't
that's
really understand
very cool.
More of an engineer thing that they do. But he came and he judged our competition, and it's just through that engagement of going like, oh, I've never knew that kids were doing stuff like this, and he brought up like, I would love to do more. And it's like, oh, let's talk about that, because he's never done it before. He's just that perfect candidate to go, well, what can we do? What do you want to see done? And so we're able to think a little more differently. But everybody in the community outside of education wants to do the best for education, and especially get kids to want to stay, to want to learn more, to want to be part of the community. And it's just that they don't know quite how to do that. And I think that's what puts the IU in unique positions, to help.
I'm thinking back to my high school experience. Great time, very much socially generated, right? I'm more worried about social. But like in junior and senior year, if I was put into a workplace or I was exposed to different careers other than what my parents did, I think it would have made such a big difference in my life. But rather we just keep pumping up these classes like Latin 3 that I took for some reason. You know what I mean? Like I love the teacher in the workplace situation. I want to get kids out into the workforce. And I think that's such a imperative part, especially for teachers that haven't left the classroom for a while, it kind of gives them perspective of, oh, this is what I'm preparing students for. Less about vocab, like we talk about with Steels, but more about critical thinking, right? So I think it's important that we get teachers into those kinds of situations.
I agree.
Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to build over on the eastern side of the state now at IU 29. The Schuylkill is so interesting as an IU that they're only Schuylkill County. Mm-hmm. And so like I just had the unique ability that I'm only trying to make this work right now in one county. And if we can get that one county to do it, it's something that we can, expand out with.
Take off like wildfire. Let's be very real. There's a big need for that, I think.
Mm-hmm. So we're also part of the Engine STEM ecosystem, which has just kind of grown too big. And so now we're in the process. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but
if you can't, let us
bleep
know.
it out if we're not. Yeah. Long bleep right here. But we're in a process of kind of like restructuring and kind of focusing more on our individual IUs and then saying, let's just focus on these, focus on our area, and then come back together and say what's working, what's not. Mm-hmm. Should we combine to make ecosystems? So again, in a unique position where I'm able to say, like, we are building this, be part of this with us.
You get to build this from scratch, which sounds pretty awesome. You can put your own twist to it.
Yeah. And again, the experience in the IU, being part of this for 10 years, it's so fun to come back to it and go, I know this knowledge of what our job is, what our role is. And now I get to instead expend that energy that I would do just trying to become accustomed to the work that we do, to just go like hit the ground running and say like, I need partnerships with manufacturers in the community and outside organizations because we already have support of the schools. We're in there. Yeah. And I just want to not overwhelm them, but inundate them with these opportunities for the students and the teachers to have, which I think, again, we're able to kind of just build from scratch, which is fun. Although I will say that Katie Kelly is the person that I took over for. Mm-hmm. And I feel incredibly bad for the amount of work that she put in for like the next person to come in, that of like all the luck I come in and it's just like, it's hundreds of pages that she like wrote out step by step, which is amazing. Katie Kelly, if you're listening, wow.
Shout out to Katie Kelly. She was my number one go-to for a lot of things.
And I miss her a lot. She's an awesome IU person and colleague, I guess, IU colleague.
Yeah. She was a difference maker. And I'm sure she is wherever she is now and what she's doing. But there are definitely people in all aspects of our educational careers that were difference makers who made a big difference. Mm-hmm. Greg, the one thing that I was thinking about as you were talking about trying to have teachers enter into a space of being the learner, not necessarily putting on their learner hat, but being the learner. And that's something that we certainly worked on a lot as we were rolling out Steels, that you need to experience this as a learner first, then go back to being the teacher and how can I get this happen for my students? But I can tell you honestly from my own experience that when I was first introduced to Steels, I'm like, I'm good, right? Like, I don't know why we're doing this. And I'm saying that because I think that is a natural reaction that a lot of individuals have. They're like, we have new standards. Why do we do this? Right? Like, why are we moving it? Until you peel it back and you learn that there's so much more to this, and actually so much more that we can do as educators. It really empowers us and allows us to do so much with our students. So once I understood the foundation and where it was going, then I was all in. But before that, initially it was like I was very off-put by it. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, what are, I went to those trainings. And I think that's one of the biggest differences for me is that I didn't go there to be trained on Steels. I went there and I experienced Steels, this mindset behind the next generation science standards. And that's when I was like, yup. This is it. This is really what we're doing versus hey, go do this, turn it around and then show your students. So I appreciate that perspective of me being the learner. Let me experience it. And then as a professional, what does that look like in my classroom? How do I engage my students to have this experience?
A lot of teachers shared your opinion of it, right? Like this is, I already know this. This is
I already
content
do this.
Yeah, I'm already teaching. Mm-hmm. And again, like a big push is like, well, it's the process. It's all in the process. And that, again, you need to experience that process, right? Not just as this step-by-step thing, like, oh, first you do this, but like logically, that's how I think. This is how I process information. Not just I'm listening to something and then, we do an experiment, but I already know, like I'm just following some process that the teacher laid out instead of like understanding my own thinking. Yeah. And so when I came in to like the pen cell work and that early in steel stuff, I mean, I try to genuinely be interested in things, but like with that, I have no idea why the tanker thing imploded. And my way of thinking is verbally, is drawing things out.
Yeah.
And so like, I just naturally was inquisitive, like, well, why did it happen? And I think that just that one person that's naturally like going, why is this doing that? Really helps other people to kind of be brought into the simulation as well.
I would agree.
Whereas like, I'm just like, well, how do you make that for everybody? Like my curiosity that I had at something simple like this imploding tanker car, how can you get that for the physics teacher that goes, I already teach all of this stuff. This is all content that I already teach. What is the experience we give them to make them go like, oh, that's how I'm showing my thinking, especially when they've had 20 years of having this one way of going like, I know all, I'm sharing that information with my students. They need to learn it and they're going to be tested on it and they need to understand that. Instead of going like, what if they don't understand all of the content, but they're self-driven and they're inquisitive and they want to think these things out? Like, it's okay. You know, they're going to figure those out, especially if we work on those skills. Yeah. Like they just become easier and easier and easier for them as they move on because they know how they think. They know how to process skills. They're a computational thinker.
Look at you throwing out a phrase. That was big this year.
And if you're approaching science correctly, you should have more questions than you do answers. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts for us in the classroom. Instead of, when somebody asks, well, why did this happen? Well, it's gravity. Oh, okay. And then they move on. It's like, okay, let's just ask a bunch of questions and then let's go back through and try to piece it all together and see if we can find holes or gaps. And even when there is an answer given, you're like, okay, well, I can understand that, but what about this part of it? So it's really, as you said, being genuinely curious, and that curiosity is contagious. I agree with you. And I also believe that that's really what, with a lot of our scientists that are doing all this work, they don't come into it saying, I've got all the answers. They're coming into it asking all the right questions from a lifetime of being curious and asking questions over and over and over again. Even if you know the answer, you're still asking it, I think in a lot of ways to say, hey, is everybody else here? Like, am I missing something? Are we sure we understand this the way that we do?
I think too, by having one person ask the question, it kind of breaks the barrier. Like if if a whole class is used to sitting in silence and waiting for the teacher to give them the next piece of the recipe, having someone bold enough to ask a question allows others to feel maybe a little bit safer to be able to ask some questions.
I think that's the most important thing. Like, do kids feel comfortable enough to be inquisitive and ask questions? And I don't think that's the case for a lot of students. I think a lot of students just get by.
I think to your point, like I think
know what they know.
They know what they know and they know how to play the system. They know how to play the game. And until we change the game, they're not going to be inquisitive. And I think that's part of what we liked so much about the Steels idea is that it was a bit of a game changer because it was asking questions and starting with phenomena and doing all these things that maybe were not necessarily being taught. I do remember vividly being taught recipes in school. Like I was taught how to pass the test. And sometimes I think we're still a little bit stuck there, but I love that you're twofold, right? For the other job you had, you were building a space that allowed kids to be creative, allowed kids to see something different than what they were used to. Like there's a whole lot of jobs out there that our kids just don't even know about, a whole lot of jobs. And then the work that you're doing over here is amazing too. I think you're doing some good stuff, Greg.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back doing that work with all of my IU colleagues and friends. Like it is amazing work that I really think that the IUs have a unique position to be a change that needs to occur in education. Did you see how I worked your title into that?
I liked it. That was smooth.
Thank you.
It was seamless. I didn't even pick up on it. Do you want to?
I just realized it as I said it. That's how slick I am.
You're so...
But yeah, I think the IUs they have that. And I think especially the STEM and the science work that we're doing and all of the people that are within that are just amazing. And again, I think the more that we, collaborate and work together, the greater effect that we're having. And I think really it is in that STEM ecosystem, like really building out our own and then finding ways to collaborate around it, find ways that we're successfully implementing things, with the teachers in the classroom. Or what was the other one? What's so cool about manufacturing? Like I love that competition. And in our IU9 area, my wife has been doing it for since it started in our part of state. It started over on the part of the state that I'm in now. And it is celebrated 10 times greater than it is celebrated on the western side of the state. And so like,
it's huge already.
I look forward tomorrow to going to their big award ceremony there in Reading, just to see how it's different than the one that we are doing here in the western part, which I think, again, is celebrated, but it's just not as, that doesn't have as many participants happening.
Yeah.
And it's such a great way for students, to get not experience, but get that learning about what is happening in manufacturing. And they tell that story through a short video, which they're already understand the being able to tell a message video, because they're inundated with that on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. And so it's finding that and letting students make that video and then showing that I'm sitting there thinking, like, as I'm taking my walk around the Skook, because I like to find the trails and do a little hiking. But as I'm hiking, I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, what's so cool about the environment? What's so cool about the community? Like, why don't we have more of these opportunities for students to tell stories about the community, about the manufacturers, about anything that they experience outside of that of education? So that was another random thought that I'm currently working on now.
That's like a bunch of different competitions now.
Yeah. And I love competitions, especially those that it's something that the students make on their own and like come and have excitement about presenting.
I really love the idea about the community.
It's not an easy ask for students to do. It's always amazing the work that they come up with.
Yeah.
But
they're so smart.
Yes, they are.
What I've really appreciated about my own educational career and journey is that when I was a classroom teacher, I didn't really know what an IU was. I didn't know that there were supports out there that were there to help me succeed in my classroom. It felt very isolating to be like, I am the science teacher. This is me and totally on me in this space and time. But then stepping out of the classroom and seeing the impact, and that there are all of these systems designed to help educators be successful, even if they're unknown, kind of like in the shadows, you don't see them. And I am imagining now, as we're having this conversation, that there are additional systems that I just can't see from my spot on the mountain. I can't see that there are additional systems out there that are meant to be supportive and help all of us be successful, with the intention of empowering our students the best that we can. So I'm very appreciative of your perspective, especially kind of where things have gone for you, to be able to see other angles that even we don't see. I've been at the IU for 5 years, and hearing your perspective on that, of saying, is the grass greener? Okay, no, it's not. But I learned so much on this journey that you're now a different IU employee because of your experience, and you're able to share this out with the #1 rated podcast in the entire world. Chad.
In our world.
In maybe our little...
Yeah. What is the R world? I like the R world as in the entire earth. This is the #1 podcast. They just don't know it yet.
They don't know.
I like that.
Right. You don't know what you don't know. And they don't know that it's #1.
Such a little niche, nerdy podcast. Yes.
You know, I don't know. I like that I left and came back, because it makes you appreciate it so much more. But I'll tell you, if you can, go leave a year and then come back. There's so many, it makes you feel incredibly special when you come back and be like, oh, Macer's back. Or I like the one where I heard Greg was back. Greg Mace, is it that guy, the same guy, or is there like another guy with the same name? And it's like, boom. It's me.
It's me.
It's the real one.
But the one and the only.
Yeah.
Well, the real Greg Macer, please stand up.
Yeah. Very humbled. So I like that, coming back. And it's awesome, again, being like on the western side of the state, working with wonderful people. I think that both sides of the state have awesome work going on. But I really do feel like there is a separation sometimes between what's happening on the west, what's happening on the east. And I get to drive through both. So then I'm like, let's be the connector, let's bring everybody as the IUs together, working on similar things, but I don't know.
In very different ways, though, in very different ways.
Definitely.
Yeah, great. I see that a lot in the gifted work that I do. It's kind of crazy how different the East and the West are, and even North and South. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are a big state, like, again, the IUs just have, no matter where you go in that state, there's somebody that is an advocate for student success through science, through STEM, through just driving curiosity, computational thinking, getting kids to be ready to be a part of a future that is completely uncertain and is inundated with what's truth, what's fiction. They need to be able to process information and come to a conclusion on their own that isn't driven by, propaganda or, half truths, that they can figure out and form a informed smart decision, not just one that's led by somebody else.
That's the big job.
Double G, the connector, Greg Macer.
Maybe we should get him a shirt.
We should, with all those things on.
Tony, can you have a shirt made for him with a changed?
Consider it done.
Because he is podcast famous.
Now we need
We got stickers. We got
3X.
I'm gonna ask you a random question.
Oh no!
Because this is your third time. We can't just have the second and last final thought. We're gonna have a random question. And that random question is, Greg Macer, how do you like to have your food plated on your plate? Does everything have to be separate? Can it all be mashed together? Do you mix it up?
Oh my goodness!
Can I take a guess?
We
want to guess? Let's guess what Greg would do.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
We're gonna guess.
I think Greg is a mash that thing together. He doesn't care.
I don't know.
Go ahead. I got an opinion.
Here's what I think. I think Greg starts separated but can't help himself and takes a little bit of everything and then makes something. That's what I think.
Okay, so I think my answer is basically the same. That I think he wants it separated.
Of course.
But then
I can't wait for Greg's explanation.
I'm gonna change it because I'm getting accused over here with my fellow co-host. A bit like never mind.
I'm taking that the way I want to take that. Thank you.
I'm getting criticized by my co-host, so I'm going to go with the opposite of everybody, and then one of us will be right. I'm going to say you keep it all separated and you eat it separately, and the way you eat it is that you eat it from least favorite to favorite.
Okay, so you got, I think, one of them right, where I do try to eat least favorite to favorite, but it inevitably be like, we're just going to say buffet,
okay,
because that's where people would say, like, what's happening here on your plate? And I don't think I ever go into it as like, I'm going to keep things separate. Like I'll get a salad on the side and I don't want anything to kind of go on that salad. But then by the time I see the mashed potatoes and the,
that's exactly what I figured.
Everything else, chicken wings.
I feel like I'm right. I'm right.
That you start out that way, but
I don't want it to touch the salad, but then it all just kind of comes together.
It's just on the plate. But I take that plate and no matter what's on it, I find the cheese. And I just cover it.
See, that's where I come in.
So the cheese is the IU. It's what you're saying. The cheese is the IU that blends it all together.
The cheese is Greg. All his plate is the IU. Greg is the connector with the cheese.
Oh, even better.
Oh, my goodness. I am the cheese.
Greg is the cheese
on top of an overflowing
Greg, say cheese. That means something new now. Huh?
Oh, my gosh.
So then, Greg, real quick, I want you to tell us what you think for each of us, because you know us best than any of our other guests. What do you think we are in the way we eat? How about Tony specifically? You don't know how you eat food?
I do. I know how I eat.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tony.
I would say
this is the most bizarre.
It's not a pile, but it ends up touching. But the intention is like, I want to be civil. See, it seems like it's civil.
That's really spot on, Greg. That's really good.
But you want it to be. Maybe you're a little dabby here.
I want a little bit of
it's separate on your plate, but do you dab your fork into like separate things?
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
You're the perfect gentleman.
Well done, Greg.
Nice job.
Well done.
Nice job, Greg.
All right, how about Patrice?
I feel like you were agreeing with me when I was talking mine, but I don't think, again, you're a mounder. Like, you're not going to mound everything together. But I think you're very similar to Tony, where if it gets put together, it's all right.
It really is situational. I got to be very real with you.
So,
like, I'll eat mashed potatoes and I'll mix corn with my mashed potatoes.
Well, that's normal.
Is it? I don't know. I wasn't told that was normal.
I like that.
That's a mashing.
Yeah, I like mashing.
But like, I very much like if I'm having, like, say I have asparagus and grilled chicken and then like, I don't know, rice.
All separate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, like,
it's
I'll take a
weird
chicken wing
and
dip it into the mashed potatoes and then into some ranch and cheese. It's delicious.
That's a wild move.
I could do the chicken in the mashed potatoes, but I don't think maybe the ranch, but I don't know. I feel like you're taking it a little.
Ranch can go with anything, I think.
Well, he is the great connector with the cheese.
He is the great connector.
Greg, are you a blue cheese or a ranch?
Blue cheese.
It's gross until you hit the cheese.
You gotta experience. You know what? It's like Steels. You gotta experience it to appreciate it.
Yeah.
No cheese.
You all gotta come to a
Absolutely
buffet
not.
with me.
Yeah.
Done. Consider it done.
I think
Greg.
that would be an experience for us.
All right, Greg. Many would say that we've left the best for last.
Oh,
So
my
please, sir,
gosh.
go
Every
ahead.
time.
What would be
Oh,
my
man.
order?
See, I think you want to be a fancy pants, but you can't. I feel like you moved around a lot. So, like, you got to be civil.
I'm just a hot mess. That's what you're saying.
But I think that it changed. You know, I think that you started civil. But I feel like at this age, you're just like, nah, man, it's going to meet together on my plate. And then, like, give it 10 more years, you can be making a mound like me.
At 55, he just smashes everything together.
I think right now you're a civil man, but you don't mind blending things together or layering cheese on stuff.
Greg, he just sat up straighter when you said that. Civil man, he went boo.
Yeah, yes,
He
I am.
grew an inch.
He's trying to pretend it through his food. He doesn't want to give in to the temptation of just making a mound of food.
I love this.
And so it's like, I'm going to be civil and just come up 10 times.
You know what's amazing about this is actually how accurate you really are in what you're saying. We could have a whole new podcast, a spin-off
I love
on
this
this.
segment. Yep.
But when I was a kid, for the longest time,
Here we go.
until I was an adult, everything had to be separate. Nothing could touch, and I would eat it least favorite to favorite. Even if that meant that the favorite thing was cold by the time I got to it, like I wanted to eat it then. And now it's kind of like you said, like I got a little bit more street cred with my eating and, mashing it together.
Street cred.
How you got to live?
Gonna throw in the cheese and we'll see.
Throw
All right,
in the
Yeah.
cheese.
Live one time.
Just one time.
Greg
I'll
Macer,
never go back.
it is always a pleasure to have you on this show. You are a wonderful human being, truly are a connector, and we're glad to have you
Very. We
in
missed
this
you.
IU world, making so many important connections across the state, clearly, but also where you're at. And thank you for coming on the show. We'll make sure that we cap it at 4 so we don't have to give you that bow tie.
No, you're going to you're going to hear some good stuff and you're going to be like, oh, we got to have a skook episode. And then you'll bring me in
Love it.
and be like, what are you doing in the skook?
Quarterly
I'll tell you.
Greg Macer updates.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm back now. So
Back
you got to
better
get
than
the
ever.
5 quick so I get that bow tie.
I think you can earn the bow tie at 4. Let's be very
I
real.
agree.
I'll take the bow tie at 4,
Yeah.
but then I need a jacket at 5.
All right, that's fine. Andrew's
Or a
fine.
t-shirt
Suit.
with your guys' face on it.
I don't think you want our faces on it.
Yes, I do.
Matter of fact, I do.
With your headphones and stuff on. And then me in the center.
As it should
As it
be.
should be. Yep.
Double G
On a buffet plate. All of our faces.
with cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Cheese surrounding Greg.
Yeah. Well, this feels
went
like
off the rails.
appropriate time to wrap it up and remind all of our listeners, please, we want to hear from you. Communicate with us at whatever it may be. Maybe not feedback on the last question with
Probably not.
the food, but everything else we want to hear about it. And they can email us, Tony, at
thechangededpodcast@gmail.com.
so reach out to us, let us know what you're thinking, what you want to hear about, or if you want to come on the show, because clearly now we're handing out bow ties and shirts and jackets.
They might be only a Greg special, but he's definitely going to get one.
They have to be earned.
All right. Thanks,
If
Greg.
they have any questions about me, they can ask you guys, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll forward you any emails we get about, who is this Greg guy?
Yeah. If we respond, there might be fact checking, so we'll send it to you. Yeah.